Well, speaking of Pittsburgh, also kind of a fun matchup in that it's you against Bob Lilly. What are your thoughts on this weekend and the trip to Pittsburgh?
Yeah, I love the opportunity to go against my former coach. It seems like ages ago when I played for him. Nothing but the utmost respect. He is the all-time winning second division coach. So nothing but a crazy amount of respect for what he's achieved as a coach, but also as a human being. He's a great human being, and just appreciate everything he does and is continuing to do. Now, with regards to his team, I know they've turned the corner maybe a little bit the last 5 games on a undefeated streak, a couple wins, a few ties in there. Last night, another draw in Detroit. But what I can guarantee you, it is going to be a blue-collar, hard-working team that competes for every ball, and they compete for 90-plus minutes.
Yeah.
That's a guarantee. Now, from a tactical standpoint, they've been very, very consistent. We have our game plan in place. We know what they're going to throw at us. We're prepared for it. We know exactly what they will do, the 1 or 2 little tweaks that potentially could occur. But about us performing and executing in both boxes, and the only one little concern is this reoccurring injury thing. You build a little bit of health, and then you go through injury, and it's hard to keep some level of consistency and build on. Like last 3 games, you outpossess the opponent, you outshoot the opponent. Now you have a couple more injuries. In halftime, I had to make a couple injuries, and one in particular was our best player on the field for the first 45 minutes, and there's a little bit of momentum shift, and so this injury concern all year has been challenging. But we're going to go there, put our best foot forward, and find ways to collect points.
That's kind of the start of the stretch run with 13 games left starting this week.
Yeah.
Do y'all go into Pittsburgh with kind of like all that's behind us, we're 0-0 on the ledger, or how do you handle that?
Yeah, I think in this moment we have to continue to focus on the controllables, and we have to be all in, 100% committed on executing the controllables, and a little bit less of, yes, you need to win games. If you win games, you position yourself to be in playoffs, but if that's the sole focus, that will only add anxiety to the players. So our focus has to be and continue to be focusing on executing the controllables, staying positive, keep working, because there are plenty of points to get us into playoffs.
Will you and Bob, we all meet up in Pittsburgh before the game, or will it be a handshake on the line before the game?
We'll probably talk before the game. I think we're both ultra competitors, so it's hard the day before.
Yeah.
And it's also, you always say, hey, post-game, let's talk, and it never happens because one is really, really mad.
Yeah.
We're ultra competitive, let's put it this way. But I think there is mutual respect.
Yeah.
He does say my younger brother was a better player than I was, and I keep telling him, hey, that's not cool. But he reminds me every time I see him, he brings that up.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's just to get me going to not focus on the game, but
maybe this year will be like last year. Y'all had a draw, and so y'all.
No, I think we drew. Oh, you're right here. I was thinking.
2 years ago.
Right, that was 2 years ago, correct.
Clinched the regular season.
Yeah, we won it in the ugliest game in the history of the USL Championship, but we won, and ultimately it's about results. And that was an interesting game.
You talked about, obviously, as you do every week, going through what they're going to do tactically and everything, but I know that was something you kind of harped on your players after this last match. Tulsa did what you said they were going to do, and yet your players didn't account for that. Are those matchups and those tactics something you've drilled into them more this week?
We've been consistent in our preparation. The game plan, the preparation of what the opponent is going to do every week is spot on. That is our job as coaches, and then if there is any sort of tweak, because it can happen, our job is to recognize it in the game and then give that information out to the players. But it's been consistent, and I'm confident if you ask the players that they're well prepared in terms of they know what the opponent is going to do. Again, it's been difficult trying to create and maintain some level of consistency with this constant injury bug. It's been a challenge, and we're trying our best to work through it, but it is extremely difficult. we're not making excuses. We're going to go like we do every game, compete, and hopefully keep doing as many good things as possible, and then hopefully at some point this turns into getting some results.
And like you said, Pittsburgh has kind of turned the corner as of late, but overall this season, they're in 10th, kind of like you guys have been surprised, sort of underperformers, maybe discounting the last 5 or so matches. What do you think was kind of getting in their way? Why weren't they hitting the heights they should have been?
You guys got to remember, it's soccer, all right? Look where Bob is. He's the all-time winningest coach, and his team's towards the bottom. Look at Brendan Burke. When he came back into the league, has been always towards the top and struggling. It can happen, guys, right? It's and everybody has different reasons why it happens. Our biggest challenge is, again, this player availability, and then a lack of consistency when there's not, and constantly adapting, and so it's hard to build consistency. And one of the keys to success that's one of the pillars is consistency. And so we're finding different ways. We're trying different ways. Not everything is obviously going exactly as we hope for, but we got to continue to be positive and do the work. That's the only way I know. We got to continue to be relentless in our preparation. We got to continue to fight, and hopefully you do enough good things, maybe the luck starts to fall a little bit in our favor.